You know, life is funny sometimes. One day you're riding high, the next minute you're not. The people you thought you could trust, you find out you can't. And our next guest had it all until he didn't, though he turned it around thanks to, of all things, bodybuilding. Yes, shaping his body, which in turn shaped his mind, and that led to a reshaping of a brand new life in one of the more inspirational stories we've run across in some time. And let's have the man at the center of it all tell us how it all went down. A pleasure tonight to say hello to Rocky Detwiler. We're going to get into his story right now. First things first, sir. Tell me at your peak, at the apex, financially speaking, personally, professionally, how good was life?
It was good. It was something I had, dreamed about when I was 13 years old, to be able to retire on an investment. And so I achieved that goal. So it's nice to be able to achieve the goal. And it was good, very good. Thank you for asking.
No problem. But then I know you got caught up in a Ponzi scheme. Things kind of went south a little bit. It was actually orchestrated by one of your closest friends. I'm sure that was difficult to take. So when it all started going south after it had been so good, tell me what the lowest point was.
The lowest point was I was in a foreclosed home in the state of Washington. I was there as a squatter. Friends that I had ended up staying with, they moved out because the home went into foreclosure. And this was a time when lots of homes around the country are in foreclosure, and specifically this part of the region. And I have no place to go, so I was virtually homeless and ended up just staying in this home, and was there for a total of a year. But I was there for at this 6-month period, and it was dark, and I was lonely, and all of the pain kind of came crashing down, if you will. I was lonely. I was frustrated. I was confused. I felt betrayed and depressed, and my self-image was all-time low. My self-confidence was at an all-time low. I was depressed, and I was suicidal. Like, how do I end all of this? So it was looking in the mirror that one day, and it was that defining moment where I needed to make a decision to live and not die. And I just thank God he was in my life, or I would not be alive today. And I decided that I was going to make a difference in the world, and I started changing what I was thinking about. I started focusing on the power of words, and once I started going down that direction, my entire life started to change.
When you're in that moment where
Yes.
you feel like, in your words, suicidal, when it's that desperate, how can you
Yes.
possibly even think about turning it? How does that happen?
It happens by a thought. And that's actually an excellent question. I have a great story. I won't probably take all the time here, but it begins with one single thought will send you over. One single thought to jump off the bridge. One single thought to take the gun. But it's also one single thought to go, I'm going to live. I'm not going to die. It's one single thought to say, you know what, my life has meaning. It's one single thought to say, it was the girl who said hi to me at school, and he puts down the knife and doesn't commit suicide. That's a true story, by the way. So it's one single thought, and then it's the spoken word that you say, I'm going to live and not die. I'm going to never give up. And that's what I said, that's what I did, and I didn't give up. And because of that mess, it's now become a message to inspire millions of people to not give up, to not die, that there is a purpose for your life. And there was for me at the time. Zubin, I didn't think that there was. I was just like, man, when you're at that place and you're desperate and you're in depression and you have suicidal thoughts, if you can just switch the switch just a little bit, and you can think, there's a reason for me to live. I do have potential. My life does have meaning. I do have a purpose. I am needed in this world. Then guess what happens? Your life will start to change. You start speaking positive words, and your life will go in the direction of your most dominant thoughts, because up to that point, you're thinking negative thoughts. We want to switch that to the positive thoughts in your life.
Very powerful, as is bodybuilding. I mean, what was the impetus to have bodybuilding be the core of all this?
Yeah, okay, so that, yeah, you're asking, I'm sorry. Well, it's the one thing I could turn to, one thing I could control, and that's what I was eating and my exercise. I could control that. I couldn't control the economy, or even if I was going to have a job or not have a job, or have a business or not have a business, or, even sometimes relationships. But I could control what I was eating and if I was exercising or lifting weights. And so I wrote a contract to myself at this dark period in my time, and you see the before picture probably, and I just thought I was going to make the changes. I got rid of the Fruity Pebbles and the donuts and the ice cream, and I went to the store with the funds I had, which was limited, but I bought all the best I could, right? The lean meats and the vegetables and, you know, positive foods, right? Good foods. I replaced them. So replacing a bad habit with a good habit. Out with the old, in with the new. And the new for me was good food. And then I started tracking everything. And I started going to the gym. And I made a commitment, man, because I had to be at the airport for work at about 4:30 in the morning. So I was up at 2 o'clock in the morning so I could hit the gym because I made a commitment to myself. And that was the first thing I had to do. I made a promise to me, because I'd broke enough promises in my life, and I'm like, I need to make new changes in my life, and that's what I got to start with. So, I turned to, you know, lifting weights and exercise, and it paid off.
All right, so bottom line, what's the message here?
Yeah, thoughts become your words, become your actions, become your habits, and then they become your lifestyle. And some of the greatest philosophers in time have said that. I just happen to put it into a 5-step process, and we wrote a book about it. And, you know, our goal is to help, you know, transform as many lives as we possibly can, Zubin. That's what we want to do. It's our heart.
It's amazing work. And once again, you can check his work out online where he's changing lives one person at a time. Doing great work. Thank you so much, Rocky.
Thank you. Appreciate it.